Hey guys, it's Milka. Welcome back to my channel, NutAeum. I know I missed out on a week, right, of posting. I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, you guys, and still currently in the process, so hopefully you won't be interrupting filming too much, but yes. I'm excited to bring today's reading to you guys. We've got 4 groups as always, and today's reading is going to be about where your person is currently at in their life, whether you know them yet or not. But before we get into our group selections, I wanted to do a tiny little self-plug as always. First of all, I did want to let you guys know that there is a newer song that was channeled on my other channel. And it was a channeled message from Divine. Honestly, I know some of you guys may be triggered by the word, hopefully not too many, because I don't see it as religious. For me, it's just the term to coin like source of everything. And it's just an energy, it's not a person or anything. And so it was more like a message from God. And I remember when I received this message, I was like crying, and it was a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, wait, I'm so sorry, give me a second. Can I write this down into a song, And I think the whole point was that it was meant to be a song. But here's a little insert from that song. Don't shrink in the shadows. It'll be alright. Reach your hand out to me. And I'll be your guide. Promise you there'll come a day when you'll live in the light. But for now, just hold on to me. I'll be your guide. Yes, so that was the song, you guys. Well, there was a little clip of the song. If you're interested in hearing the rest of the song, I'll link the video down below. Yeah, and yes, also I'd like to let you guys know that I do offer personal private readings, okay? As well as custom crystal bracelets. Ooh, wow, this is just an example of one. And they are charged with light language and Reiki, and they're made very custom for each individual, unless of course you request a version that you've already seen me wear or make or something. And they're attuned to your energy and frequency and what it is that you would like to bring in more into your life. Also, if you guys are interested in seeing some other examples of the bracelets, you can check out my website. There is a page where it just shows examples of the bracelets, okay? And I also offer custom affirmation songs, right, for you guys as well, if you are interested. So to reach out to me in regards to any of that stuff, you can reach out either through my email or the contacts page on my website, which is all listed in the description box below. Okay, without further ado, let's get into our group selections. Group number 1. These are Slang cards, by the way, you guys. So I may pronounce it weird, but I will tell you that they helped me because there were a couple of slang words in here that I didn't know, okay? So this one is Gucci. After this set, shall we grab something? Okay, let me start that up. After this set, shall we grab some smoothies? Gucci. I feel so like, I don't want to say, it's not old, but I feel like the most posh person in the world when I read slang stuff. It's not. Okay, group number 2, your group is Hundo P. So this is one that I'm not 100% sure. Oh, 100%. Ha! So this is not one that I was a Hundo P Okay, no, that sounds weird. The shore of. Okay, anyway. You make the best breakfast cross sandwich evs, babe. Hundo P. Cross sandwich. I've never heard. Even that's a slang term for me. Wow, cross sandwich. Interesting. Group number 3. Your word is glow up. Whoa, what they feed you at band camp, son. Talk about a glow up. My favorite part about these cards is that you've got people of all ages, you know, and so a lot of the times you see the older people being the ones saying the slang. Okay, and group number 4. Your word is low key. Thanks, hun. I've been low key hoping for a mitter saw. A mitter saw. Wow. Okay, so these are the groups, you guys. I'm going to give you a moment to choose your group. You may have one or more. Okay, and remember, guys, these readings are for fun. The people that we are likely to meet are constantly changing, you know, based on our actions and the healing that we do. So I would say with these kinds of readings, it's always best to take them with a grain of salt. But this could be, unless you're also talking about like a future spouse here and whatnot, you know what I mean? But yeah, okay, guys, I'm going to give you a moment to select your groups. Group 1, this is your group. If you chose the Gucci card, let me read it to you again, shall I? After this set, shall we grab some smoothies? Gucci. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna set the card to the side and ring your singing bowl. No, ring the singing bowl for you. Okay, I just wanted to let you guys know, as I was shuffling your cards, something interesting happened. One of the decks, I accidentally knocked it and 2 cards flipped out to reveal a certain card, okay? And I was like, oh, that feels so meaningful. But I decided to put everything back in and I shuffled. It was really those 2 cards fell out to reveal this one card. So I started shuffling and lo and behold, the first card that comes out from that deck is that card that they revealed. I was like, ooh, just wait till you guys hear about it. I'll tell you which one it is when we get there. Okay, also, just based off of the card that you guys chose, I do feel like your person, I'm not going to say they're rich, okay? But I kind of feel like they are good financially, okay? I'm not talking about being penny pinchers and that's why they have money. I feel like they get the money that they want to vacation when they want, you know, to get the things that they want, to get gifts and be able to help family a bit. And all this to say that they still have money left over even after all of that and rent and life expenses and kind of stuff like that. So I feel like they're good. They're well off financially, kind of feels like. And especially like, look, they're playing tennis, right? And I'm not saying tennis is only for like rich people or like wealthy people, but you kind of tend to see tennis and golf being associated with a certain type of income class and level. So just saying. Okay. So first we have the 9 of Wands. I'll move this here like so. Okay. The 9 of Wands, or the 9 of Wands. The 6 of Cups. The Fool. The King of Pentacles, or Pentacles. And you guys, this is the one that I was talking about that flipped open and all that stuff. And it was the first one to come out. I was like, oh, this card is saying things, and we'll get into it. Then we've got the Page of Pentacles. Judgment, which this was on top. This was the card that fell off. It was Judgment and Justice, but Judgment was on top. It was the top facing card and it flipped open. And so I saw it again and I was like, okay, yeah, that's good. Then we've got the 10 of Pentacles with Abundant Legacy Avenue. And we have the Passion and Desire Gardens, the Ace of Wands. Well, I said that so weird. The Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands. Oh gosh, that was funny. Then, ooh, we have Awaken, a good card. And the Page of Cups. Interesting, interesting. This card is supposed to represent their emotional state currently, and you have Archangel Gabriel with Divine Inner Strength. Look how beautiful this card is, you guys. I love the colors. And then we've got Virgo, which is so, you guys, the reason this is hilarious is because this card was the top facing card. And then I've got the white version and the black version of each card. And so this was the top facing card, and then I split the deck to the dark Virgo card. I was like, whoa, double Virgo, interesting. So the first card that apparently fell out from this deck was also Virgo, even though I shuffled really well. That is so interesting. Okay, and then we've got Leo. Ooh, but we've got the dark Leo. Interesting. And we have Chameleon with Adapt. Corona Borealis with Honor. That just made me think of Mulan. I don't know why, but like with your group especially, I'm getting a lot of like Asian influences. I wasn't saying it, but I was thinking of something to do with Korea and then something else, and then like some Chinese musician came in mind, and then with Honor, that's making me think of, I don't know, like it doesn't always make me think of Mulan. Sometimes I get like the Knights of Camelot or other characters, but here specifically it was Mulan. So I think it's interesting that there is a bit of an Asian influence, and I wanted to say Asian fusion, right? So I'm curious to see what that could be. This could be, honestly, it doesn't have to, this is a general reading, so this wouldn't necessarily be talking about their ethnicity, race, all of this stuff, though it could, right? Or yours, you know, that could be possibility too. It could also just talk about either yours or their interests. But since this is energy that's coming through as we're looking into what's going on in your person's life, so maybe if they're not, you know, that, maybe they're really into like Asian cuisine or Asian stuff. Maybe they like to watch anime, or maybe they love sushi or Japanese food or like Korean food or like traditional Chinese food. I'm not talking about like the sesame chicken and broccoli and white rice that people, though now that I'm like smelling that. It smells incredible. So it's not that they don't enjoy that. I just feel like they're really big into food and like cuisine. Like, I don't know, there's a certain association with, it feels homely and good. It feels good. Like it resonates with their body to have Asian cuisine, but like the legit kind of stuff, you know? So like even, sure, they enjoy Chinese takeout, but they prefer, they really love to explore authentic food. So they'll eat the things that like some people may be afraid of in the West, you know, like chicken feet, okay, and stuff like that. Yeah. Sorry, let me continue with the cards. I just started the reading. Okay, Telescopium with Discover. Oh, speaking of, yeah, they like to explore these kinds of cuisines. They like to try new things. That was so funny. Okay, then we have Pisces. I'll put this here. And the South Node. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, you guys. Also, let me see what else I get since we already started. I know it's supposed to be where they're currently at, but we got a little bit of information about them, and I'm sure you guys probably would like to know. You guys, ever since I mentioned sesame chicken, it's like I can smell it, I taste it, I have the whole sensation as if I'm eating it. So like I said, they enjoy authentic cuisine, but I think that maybe they do genuinely enjoy sesame chicken and white rice. Okay. Oh gosh. And you know, for those of you who are like, I would only date a vegetarian or whatever, then you know, sesame tofu, like there, or a vegan version of sesame chicken. There's so many alternatives. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I'm getting like ginger, like they like adding ginger to things. So it could genuinely just be that they really enjoy Asian cuisine. And those ingredients and the types of foods and styles of cooking just agree with their digestive system more. And there's a sensation of home. So I'm wondering if they themselves are not actually Asian or have ever lived in Asia, um, or had a lot of Asian people around them, whether it be friends that they visited often, um, or relatives like through marriage or something like that. Like if their uncle or aunt got married to somebody who was Asian and they spent a lot of time at their uncle or aunt's house and like enjoyed the cuisine, and that was how they were introduced. Like again, this is a general reading. So if they themselves are not of Asian, like descent, and I say Asian because it's very broad, okay? But I will say for very few of you, it would be like India or Sri Lanka or anything like that. It doesn't seem so much India as it does like, would that be considered Eastern Asian? I guess Eastern Asian, right? Where it would be more like China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam. I know I have mentioned Cambodia once before, but now there's a personal connection. So it could be Cambodia, but I'm getting like Vietnam, Indonesia, so like Southeast Asia too, all of this stuff. So it could be something along those lines. Yeah, I know this is about where they're currently at, but this is just really, I don't know why this is so strongly coming through. I guess they really want to let you know about this part, that this is something that they enjoy. So if it's something that you've gotten into recently, it's kind of like, I feel like you guys could bond over it or something. Because, yeah, or, oh, this is the thing I keep wanting to mention but keep forgetting every single time I'm about to mention it. Maybe if they're not actually Asian, they could have had a past life or a couple of very prominent past lives there, which is why I think they associate the food with home or like cozy or something where it's kind of like, this is the way we should be eating. You know how like some people are like, oh, the paleo diet is the way we're supposed to be eating. Well, I feel like this person is kind of like that about this cuisine. The majority of it, not like the really, really weird stuff, though they'll try it. I mean, hey, this is a general reading, I don't know. Okay, now where they're currently at, which is the point of the reading. I do kind of feel as though they've gotten back from traveling. So remember how I mentioned, like maybe I don't know if I mentioned this one, but maybe they even visited an Asian country and experienced it like that, like the cuisine there, and like they just kind of fell in love with it and started visiting other Asian countries or whatever, and like they just love it, So yeah, I feel like your person is very much a traveler. But again, it's not, for whatever reason, like we're just going into descriptions about your person when the whole point of this reading is supposed to be where they're currently at. Okay, Milka, refocus. Okay. Yeah, I do feel like they kind of just came back from a trip. It seems like they're okay. I feel like I don't want to say they're lonely, but I think they kind of have built a certain amount of success for themselves, and now they kind of look back at their journey and all of this stuff, and they're living in this home that they enjoy. I'm not talking about mansions and stuff like that. It's not excess. It's like, it's abundance, but it's not excess, because why would a single person need a mansion? I mean, no judgment if you have a mansion. No judgment if you have a mansion and you just so happen to be watching this reading, but I think it's more so like they don't believe in having too much, so like I don't want to say they're minimalist. They really enjoy life and they like getting the things that they like, but they don't like to have empty like no value in things, or like empty things. So like having a house with 10 rooms, that's like, there's no need for that. For them, they'd maybe get 2 or 3 rooms. you know, so that they can have, assuming that they're gonna have a kid or two, or like have a guest room and a room for the child. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. And like right now, they wouldn't go past 2 bedrooms because they're not, you know, they're single. So I feel like they're kind of reminiscing on all their journey at the moment. So I almost feel like they're going into a transition into the next phase of their life, and it's making them feel like, I have this stuff. I think I'm good now to get a partner in my life. I think I'm ready, you know? There was a point where, I don't want to say they were hustling, but it kind of seems like that, you know, they were really building themselves up and grinding and going into their business hardcore and all of this stuff. But now they're just kind of like, they can relax a little more, right? They can lean back a little bit. And so now that they're leaning back, they're like, this is nice, but you know, I could go for someone to share it with. So I feel like they're opening themselves up for love. And that's why I think it's funny where we have Awaken and the Page of Cups. This is why I thought it was so cute, because though they have all of this stability stuff, right? Like when it comes to material possession and wealth, or like monetary, you know, needs and whatnot, they're just awakening. They're like a novice when it comes to love. So now they've actually, I'm not saying they've never been in a relationship, because that's not it. I feel like they've been in like flings, relationships, but it doesn't seem like, and it's not like they've never been in a long-term commitment either. They have. It's just most of those, I don't know, they never prioritized it because they've got other things going on in their life. Some of those things felt material or superficial, okay, like surface level. I can speak. Surface level. Oh my gosh. Surface level connections. So maybe they are like from another country or something, because I'm like saying simple basic English words and it's just coming out so weird. So I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing so much, but it's funny to me. Maybe they are from another country. But yeah, so maybe even in their country, like work is, yeah, I don't know. You know, I think it's, yeah, it's okay. Anyway, I do feel like they're opening themselves up. You know, they're making now it's not even that they're making the time. Now they just actually genuinely have the time to get love in their life. Like I'm hearing all these kids screaming, and I feel like they're thinking, okay, now I could get a family, I could settle down. So yeah, I mean, it seems like, and it doesn't feel like your person would be going on, well, I don't know. I feel it's a mixed bag because again, it's a general reading, but it does seem like it does feel like some of them might go on a dating website, though this feels more of like an in-person kind of encounter, or like through a friend, you know? So I feel like they would be open to their friends setting them up on a blind date and all of this stuff. And I kind of feel like they may be getting to a point where they even ask their friends, like, hey guys, if you have anyone that you would like to recommend for me, you can, you know, set me up. I do feel like on some level they feel currently like their internal clock ticking. So this is a genderless reading, okay? I know with females, there is genuinely an internal clock, like when it comes to being able to have a baby. But even with males, because I feel like even for the males, it's like they're feeling like their internal clock ticking. So I think it's like they feel like they're getting to an age, or they're at an age where they should have a family. Okay, I'm not saying they're super old for some of you guys. It's just, again, it could also be cultural. You know what I mean? Like some people will be like, you're 27 years old and you don't have a kid yet. Like that's not, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of frowned upon. It's like you should have been married at 22, at 23. You should have graduated from college, gotten married right away, and started having a kid. So yeah. So it could be that it's not that they're actually coming off as old for most of you. Again, it's a range of age, you know, depending on who's watching. So I don't think this person is too much older than you, is what I'm trying to say. I just think that where they're from, they're considered like, come on now, you should be getting a family. And I feel like their family is going to be really happy to see them, your person, have a family. So again, you see there's so much emphasis on abundance and all this stuff. Ooh. And I think the reason that we've got passion and desire gardens is because like they're really starting to open themselves up to this concept of having a relationship again. Your person is very honorable, I will say. And I feel like, yeah, that's why I was saying it's weird. Like, I don't see them so much doing dating apps, though I don't think, like, again, it's general reading. For some of you, that could be it. It just feels like for them, they kind of seem like, I want to meet this person in person. You know, they want it to be done right. It's the same value that keeps them from being materialistic or like getting too much, right? They're like, I don't need too much. I don't need excess. I don't need extra stuff to fill up my space in my life. And I feel like that something about where that value comes from is also the reason why it's also the core value as to why they would like to have somebody to meet in person. It feels more, it's not like they're old world or anything, but I feel they enjoy that experience of in person more. I don't know. I can't fully explain it. It's like the connection to be in person. I mean, some people are just not into meeting people online. And if they did come across you online, that wouldn't, stop them from reaching out to you. I just feel like they would prefer. And the way that they're thinking about going about it is like going on speed dating, going on blind dates that their friends recommend. It kind of seems more in-person stuff. I also feel, like I said, I do feel like they came back from a trip, like maybe within the last 3 months. And it seems like they do travel. So I don't know if they have family internationally as well, or they were just going on a trip. But in our favorite rocket ship, flying through the sky. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of what's coming through in that department. Oh, you see, it's so funny, right? With this judgment card, you see like this archangel, I believe it's Archangel Gabriel blowing the horn. I think it's just so funny because this person is like, it's like they're getting a divine calling. Like that's why I was saying with this card, it feels like they feel like their time is running out, their internal clock is ticking. And it's almost like their body and divine is kind of like, hey, it is time. It's like they were going on with their life and then they just hear a voice all around them. It is time for a partner, And they're like, oh, it's time for a partner. Because they're really good. That's one thing your person is really good at. And that's, I think, where you can attribute their success to, is that they actually really listen to divine guidance. So that's what I was saying. Also, it is a new phase for them in this connection. And this is their little guide guiding them, right? Materially, they're good. Financially, they're good. And again, it's not like, I don't know. That is so funny. I was going to say, it's not like super rich Asians like the movie Rich. So again, there's like that Asian. So maybe they really are, like there's something there, okay? But it's not like they're that rich. But they do have a good amount of money to travel when they want and all of this stuff. You know what I mean? So I feel like maybe I don't know. It's not rich, but it's like really, really, really well off. Okay. And because they don't go around getting like 4 luxury cars, which if you do, it's okay. That's your thing. And all this stuff. So they're also not like, in their terms, okay, wasting their money, right? They're a little bit more practical. And again, they don't mind spending money on good times or something that they genuinely want or that would bring them joy, even if it seems impractical, but they know this is going to really make them happy. They'll spend the money, they're not against it. They're not cheap. They just don't like to give in to this whole like material society, capitalistic kind of drive, I don't know if capitalistic is the right word, but I did hear capitalism and communism. So again, they could be maybe from China or something. Give me a sec, you guys. I need some water. Ooh, my throat. Yeah, like even right now, I just feel like my throat is seizing up because of stuff that is flying around in the air. So there are a few Asian countries, where they can sometimes have these waves of air pollution. So China is one of them, depending on where you're in China, you know. Then you've got Korea, I think, as well. And I'm not, to be completely honest, I'm not sure about the other countries in regards to air pollution. But yeah, wow, this is so funny that it's coming through so strongly. I guess this person could also be really proud of, I don't know. Maybe they want to live in an Asian country. If they're not from there and proud of where they're from, then maybe they want, or not even proud, not like in a like, oh yes, I'm this, but it's kind of like they like the traditional culture. They like for example, if it is China, right? They love the ancient Chinese health practices and concept of medicine and all of this stuff, you know. So they love following like those ancient rituals when it comes to like their health and all of this stuff, and the fact they love how the food is the cure, and they love the balance, right? The balance between cooling foods and heating foods, and like finding a way to incorporate all of those things to have balance in their body. Like that's something that they love, like the culture aspect of wherever they're from. You know, for those very few of you where they are like from India, so like they love the fact that Ayurveda is a thing, you know, that that kind of healing method of like, because it's all like that connection, because those ancient cultures talked about how it's a balance within, right? It's about balancing yourself from within without, my throat again. Sorry guys, I have the window open, so it just feels like pollen is stuck in my throat. But yes, so it does feel as though, yeah, I lost track of what I was saying, but I hope you guys get it. And with this, with divine inner strength, I feel like your person is already strong, but I feel like with all of this pink, and you see how in this card, it's like 2 circles. This is really about counterparts and duality. And the fact that you have Virgo and Leo here, so Virgo coming through so many times, right, in this deck for you guys. I feel like also this is talking about your person's work ethic. They have an incredible worth ethic. Work ethic. What am I saying? Work ethic. Oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe there's some kind of language barrier between you guys, because I have so much stuff going on with my throat and I keep mixing up the words. What is it called? Spooning words. But yes, so they have an incredible work ethic. They're very driven, very motivated. They're very, they're committed, you know, like they follow through. They're very stable. This is somebody that you want in your corner. Like they feel like somebody who will help calm you down if you ever are feeling too emotional or stressed, or like I feel like you guys are empaths, and this person could be like that grounding cord, you know, like a rock that you know how sometimes if you like touch a tree, you feel your heart getting lighter, you know, like that tree is just, or like when you hug a tree especially, it's like that tree is taking that energy from you and grounding it. I feel like this person is like a rock, you know, like you can touch the rock and the rock grounds it, you know. They're used to chaotic. They can handle chaotic energy. And I'm not saying you guys are chaotic, because I don't feel that you're chaotic, but I feel like they can be good for helping you guys balance out anything extra that you pick up from others. Again, where are they currently at? We also have the dark Leo. So I think that this is very interesting, because the dark energies of Leo can be egotistical, though I don't feel like your person is egotistical. I do feel like they are proud. We did talk about pride at some point, like proud of where they're from or something along those lines. But I do feel like they can sometimes be a little proudful. Is that a word? Prideful. Proudful. And I feel like a lot of eyes are on them. Okay, they could get a lot of it. They get a lot of attention. I feel like they get a lot of attention from their family and their community and other people that are included in their family. So like maybe their relatives are talking about them to other people because they're bragging. Okay, they're like, oh, my son is this, this, and this. My daughter is this, this, and this, you know, and they're bragging to people, like their family is bragging, and so like more people in the neighborhood or in the surrounding area kind of know about your person, and they're like looking at them. And if their family is bragging from another country, then it's like people from that country are now like social media stalking your person. You know, so I feel like your person gets a lot of attention on them. I also feel like there's something really captivating about them, like eye-catching. So wherever they walk to, they get some kind of an attention. And I think because their energy is so like calm, because of that, it kind of makes people like, whoa, who's that? You know, like because they're like a walking serenity, you know, and most people are not used to that. They're used to being like hectic and a rush, like go, 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 go. Yes. Okay. And your person is very adaptable. Like we mentioned, they enjoy discovering new things, new foods. I feel as though they're kind of they're ending a karmic cycle. Okay. They either have just ended a karmic cycle or they're currently ending it now. And I think that's also the thing that's getting them ready for love. Or that's why, remember I was saying they're entering like a new phase, a new chapter in their life. That's because they're ending this kind of cycle. Okay? So that's what your person is currently experiencing. Okay, group 1, that was your reading. I don't know how long I was talking for. Hopefully I wasn't rambling too much. You guys got details about your person as much as, or more so, I think, than what they're currently going through. But I hope you guys enjoyed. All right, group 1, that was it. And yeah, also, by the way, I wanted to let you guys know I'm being more active on Instagram. If you would like to perchance follow me on there, that would be very nice, and we can communicate through there too. And also, if you guys enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. I would also appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my content, and I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Sometimes it may take me a little bit of time, especially I've got a bunch of stuff going on in my personal life at the moment. So it may take some time for me to respond, but I do try to respond to all the comments, okay? Unless you're posting kind of a negative comment. In that case, I don't know what to tell you. But yes, okay? Also, again, if you guys are interested in a personal private reading, a custom crystal bracelet, or a custom affirmation song, you can reach out to me through my email or the contacts page on my website in the description box below. Okay, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm sending you lots of light, lots of love. I love you, group 1. I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys. I'll see you next time. Hey group 3, this is your group if you chose the Hundo P card, okay? I'll read your card to you again. It says, you make the best breakfast croissantwich evs, babe. Hundo P. I'll set your card to the side and I'll ring your singing, oh, why do I keep saying your singing bowl? I'll ring the singing bowl for you. I think it's interesting too that I had to do it so many times and loudly, because I will say, as I was shuffling for your group, you guys, I could not stop singing, okay? And the songs that I was singing were SpongeBob songs and that part in Beauty and the Beast where Belle sings like, oh, isn't this amazing? It's my favorite part until, and something you'll see. Here's where she meets Prince Charming, but she won't discover that it's him till chapter 3. So I had a lot of kids stuff, and then I had the SpongeBob, the Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for you and me. Okay, so So I just think it's interesting that all of that was playing as I was like getting what your person is currently experiencing. So I do feel like your person, because in the last group I've noticed that we did talk about what the person is experiencing, but we're also talking about your person in general. So I do feel like your person kind of is a little bit childish at heart, or like childlike. I'm not saying they're childish or immature. I just feel like they're like childlike, and their inner child is very much alive, and they like spontaneous things and fun things, and to be joyful, and they find the beauty in little things. They have a very grand persona and personality, and even if they say things like hundo p, right, it's like a joke, you know. They love joking around. And I feel like they love what is the word? Serendipity, you know? This kind of like coincidence of meeting someone, chance encounters, and like they love when things just kind of, you know, they're not expecting things and they just kind of come up out of nowhere. They love that. They love spontaneity. And they believe in miracles and wishes coming true and all of this stuff. You know, it's very cute. Okay, let's get into your cards. We've got the Ace of Wands, the World. You guys actually got the most cards so far. The Three of Wands, the Page of Wands, the the Eight of Pentacles. Interesting. And the Two of Wands. You guys also got the Emperor, Death, the Devil, the Sun. Look how beautiful the Sun card is. Very cute. Let me make everything higher so I can fit it into frame. Actually, I guess you guys can see this far, so I'll just shift everything as well. 1 second, please, my friends. Okay, and we've got the Judgment card. Can you see this far? I hope you guys can see it. I really do. Okay, then we have the Trap and Transform. We also have two of the, like, you guys got a lot of these cards, and you got extra of these cards, which are supposed to represent their current emotional state. You have Archangel Elimaya with Inward Spiritual Journey, and Serenity. Look how beautiful. This one flew, by the way, which is ironic. Interesting. We have Dark Aries and Dark Scorpio. And what I mean by dark is that I also have a light version. Oh, and look, what's underneath the Sagittarius? Light Scorpio. So it's interesting that these are the ones that come up. Okay, then we have Apis with Imagine, Hydrus with Renew, Pisces with Guide, and then we have the Third House and Neptune, which we'll put up here. Okay, you guys, it's so funny, right? Because all of these kid things are coming up, and something else that just came into mind, I don't know why during this reading, but I was like, I really want to get an Avatar: The Last Airbender tarot deck. That's nice, you know? But I think it's interesting. I was like, why am I thinking this during the reading? And I also got the connection. I was like, oh, because Avatar: The Last Airbender is another like childlike show, right? Which, by the way, it was an incredible show, and it is the only like media that's like a movie or a TV show that I own a physical copy of. I literally was like, I want to have a physical copy of this because I love it so much, and who knows what will happen with my digital accounts and subscriptions and whatever. I don't want to lose it if I no longer have a subscription. So I have a digital copy. That is the only thing, the only DVD set I have. I don't even have a DVD player, okay? But I have a DVD set of Avatar: The Last Airbender that I bought on eBay, okay? So maybe that's why this is also coming up, because I feel like your person could also be a little bit like nerdy or geeky when it comes to like this, because again, there's like that childlike aspect to them. So like when it comes to like their favorite shows and like their child, like they really preserve their childhood kind of things, like their memories and stuff. So I feel like they would, if they loved Avatar: The Last Airbender, they would do the same thing. They would get all of the comic books and the side books that came out. You know, I feel like they would. There was a cookbook that recently came out for Avatar: The Last Airbender. They would get the cookbook. They would try the recipes. You know what I mean? I feel like they could, is LARPing? Is it LARP? Live action role playing? I think is that what it is? Live action role playing? Is that like when people dress up? Oh, a fly! Get away! Get away! Ah! Okay, I feel like, sorry guys, being distracted. I feel like they could be into LARPing. I think that's what it's called. It's like when you like dress up in characters like from Lord of the Rings and whatnot, or like different time periods, and then like you with other people, and then like you create a little war or scenario. It's basically like, you know, when you're a kid and you're playing pretend, it's like that, but adults, and because they have money, they actually get clothes and play pretend with more adults that are like them. So actually it kind of sounds fun. So I feel like your person is that kind of a person. They kind of feel a little bit like a geek, a nerd, you know, they love like Disney stuff. They're a really big fan of something. I kind of feel like they're a big fan of something, whether it's Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Avatar: The Last Airbender, you know, SpongeBob. Like I feel like they would even get gag gifts, you know, for people. Like if they have a friend who loves SpongeBob, they'll get them that like painting that Squidward did. Oh my god, I know this is silly, but I have to look up the name of that painting. I'm so sorry, you guys. What is the name of that painting? Name. Oh, Bold and Brash. Okay, I feel like they would get that painting, like, you know what I mean? They would have like posters that say imagination and all this stuff with the rainbow and everything. So I feel like they would be that person. They would get like a thing from a book or like a TV show that they really like, or a movie that they really like, for friends and stuff that like that thing as well. Kind of like a gag gift, but that they actually enjoy. Like it just seems like they're really good at finding the perfect kind of gifts for people, but they also just really enjoy, like, yeah, they're really fun. They're really fun to be around. They're really funny. And I think the role playing can go further than just with a group of nerds, if you know what I mean. But anyway, that's for you guys to decipher. All right, what are they currently experiencing? Yeah, I feel like they really like fantasy kind of things, you know. Some of you guys, they could like Game of Thrones as well. And so like then they'll get like swords and armor, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't put it past this person to get like a real samurai sword, you know? Or like, I don't know what else, like a miniature lightsaber that glows in the dark and that like levitates or something, if that even exists, you know? And they would have that on their desk. Just like, I feel like they would be that kind of person. Okay, what are they currently experiencing? So it's interesting because the first thing I'm kind of drawn to is the Aries and the Scorpio and the fact that they're dark. And I just realized when I saw the Ace of Wands, what I had said to you guys with how they're not really, you know, they wouldn't just role play with a bunch of adults in a forest. You know, it could lead to other places too. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. So I think it's interesting because this Aries and Scorpio is very much giving that vibe, and so is this Ace of Wands. So I kind of feel like your person right now, kind of horny, okay? Like, it feels weird to say, it feels awkward. Maybe they just, maybe not maybe that's the wrong word. Okay, maybe that's the wrong, I think that's too strong of a word, but I feel like they're kind of like, okay, yeah, I feel like that's the wrong word. It is the wrong word. I think that's why it felt weird coming out. It's not that word in particular. It's more like passionate. They are very passionate, but they're currently feeling like very sensual, I guess. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know what the word would be for it, but I feel like sensual experiences feel like they heighten their pleasure sensor. So what I mean by sensual experiences, I don't mean just sexual. I mean genuinely sensing stuff. So like touching fabrics or materials that they personally enjoy, even if it seems weird, like they'll be like, oh, this just feels so good, and that like brings them pleasure. I'm not talking about like they're a freak, you know, like they're just like, oh, a table. Not like that, but I think your person is probably also really funny because I've been laughing a lot during your reading. But yeah, not like that, but it's just like they're like, oh, this just feels so good, you know, and like it, like their actual pleasure receptors, like dopamine, like it does go off, you know, and like if they eat something that tastes delicious, they're just like, oh my goodness, this tastes. And you know what's interesting? When I was picking up these cards to like shuffle and stuff, I split the deck, and the first thing that I saw was the light attribute of Taurus, right? Taurus is all about our senses. So I think that's interesting too, because there is a lot of like the sensation of their favorite food, like the taste of it. It's just like, it brings them so much pleasure. Like they really enjoy life. They enjoy the little things. So it brings them so much pleasure that it actually stimulates their pleasure receptors. And I feel like most people can kind of train themselves to be that way too, where you can get pleasure just from existing, you know? And again, it doesn't have to be sexual. That's why I think the word horny was wrong, because it didn't seem right at all. It just felt like they're currently in a state, and it's actually an elevated state to be in, where they're being like, their happy hormone is kind of being triggered by just all these sensual experiences. So I feel like they're actually in a happy state. Your person feels very light energetically. They're very light and lighthearted, easygoing. It doesn't mean they can't be serious. They can be. They're also like, I don't know why this 8 of Pentacles makes me think of gaming, okay? So they really are kind of giving off nerdy vibes. Maybe your person could actually like do gaming videos, you know? Oh, I think it's Twitch, right? People do Twitch streams or something. Or I don't know if there are other platforms that people post gaming videos on. Is it Switch? No, Switch is a thing, a console or something, right? But I don't know. It's kind of like something along those lines. Yeah, because I just heard like Captain Sparkles and whatnot. So, wow, that was a blast from the past. So yeah, I feel like they're kind of like that. They're along those lines. And then I feel like they even communicate with people from around the world that has to do with gaming. So I think that's also very interesting as well. So I do feel like this is kind of a very big deal for them. So I don't know, maybe some of them could even be into video game design, or even career-wise, whatever it is that they're doing is kind of digital, because I don't really see, I mean, for some of you guys, I guess this person could be having an office job. Give me one sec, you guys. Yeah, sorry for the cut, you guys. Someone kept buzzing the door and like interrupting. And then when I went to check the door, there was no one there. So I think that's also interesting. I feel like one thing I will say about your person, I do think that they get distracted by this kind of fantasy thing pretty intensely, okay? And what I mean by that is, I feel like they would like to spend more time doing this than maybe they had in the past. So I feel like if they're not currently in some kind of work related to this, if they're not making money off of this, then they will be, or it is ideal for them to be making money off of this, okay? Because I don't think that it's just somebody who's lost in their fantasy world. I feel like on some level they're going to be getting some kind of an income. It could be from this too. Like, I even feel like they're a group leader and everything. Like, this person is such a nerd. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I feel like you guys are going to enjoy it too. Even if this isn't your thing, I feel like when you actually get together with this person, you're going to enjoy it a lot more than you think you will. Like, I think it's going to activate your inner child for those of you that aren't excited about something like this. But for those of you who are, you're going to love it, okay? Another place where your person is, yeah, I feel like your person is currently working on some kind of a project, and this came across as like the video games and working. So I don't know if they do some kind of tech work, okay, like if they're a software engineer or if they design video games, or something along those lines, you know, or if they do just like, or maybe they do like, what was that called? Special effects in movies or something along those lines too. It kind of feels like they do something along those lines. I feel like I said something along those lines like 5 times in a row. But yeah, they do something along those lines. So it kind of seems as though there is some kind of work being put, like it's just the work. It doesn't seem like this is something they're working towards. It seems like something they're already currently doing. And again, there's emphasis on the world. So even though they have this like part of them that likes the games and fantasy and all of this stuff, I do feel as though they also like to travel. Like, there is an adventurous part of them. They like to explore. Because remember I said they really enjoy the simple pleasures in life. They enjoy existing. They enjoy, like, they find beauty in all things, in ordinary things, okay, that some people would call boring, but it's not boring. It's just ordinary because we see it every day. Just because you see a sunset every day doesn't mean it's less beautiful. You know, it's all in the way that you perceive things. So I feel like this person, every single time they see a sunset, is going to be like, this is gorgeous, as if it's their first time ever seeing it. So they love to explore. They like to go visit other countries and travel and all of this stuff too. I don't feel like your person is, yeah, because with the Emperor, it seems like they're the ones leading like community boards and stuff like that. So I do feel like they've got a good position, whatever it is that they're doing. I'm not saying they're like the boss necessarily. It doesn't feel like that. But I do feel like they've got a, you know, you don't have to worry about them never paying for anything because they've got these, like, you know, it's not like somebody who just lives in a basement and plays video games all day, which there's nothing wrong if you do that, okay? But it's like, that's not the vibe they're giving off here, just because there was this extra emphasis on nerdy stuff, okay? Though I will say, I don't know, this devil card, I don't like it, okay? Sometimes I see something like that and it doesn't always mean like the standard version of the devil card. You know, everybody reads differently. Whenever I interpret it, it most of the time doesn't mean that. But for you guys, I don't know, it's giving off a not so great vibe. And I just looked at the cards on the deck here, and we've got the Moonlight, Eclipse, and then Golden Time. This was actually the order. So I think this is also interesting, right? Because an eclipse is where the sun or the earth, either the sun blocks the moon or the earth blocks, I don't know, the sun and the moon, there's blockage. Sometimes the earth is involved, okay, depending on the type of eclipse. But you've got the moonlight and then this blocking of light, and then Golden Time, which is a beautiful card. I love yellow. I mean, if you can't tell, I'm wearing yellow, but I love yellows and oranges and stuff like that. So I think this is very, very interesting because you have the same thing here. You've got the devil, and then you have the sun card, and then you have trap and transform. So, and then you even have death here, right? I kind of feel like this is very meaningful. I'm just trying to get a grasp on exactly what it is, because you also have inward spiritual journey, serenity, and then dark Aries and dark Scorpio. I feel like your person in the past had a victim mentality. And I think they could have been a little bit more exclusive towards people who were not like them. Like, they wouldn't make time for those kinds of people. So I think that's in the past, though. I think this is something they're moving forward from. They've moved past, but it kind of feels like it wasn't too far in the past. It was just a part of their journey, because maybe they didn't feel accepted as they were, because even though they turned it into a career and they're making money off of it somehow, I feel like their parents could have been like, you're wasting your life doing this and all this stuff, like, grow up, grow up. So I feel like your person has this perception of only liking people who are similar to them, which is not necessarily the case anymore. This just seems like something in the past, okay? And I think it was just because of this fear of rejection, and so there was a bit of an ego when it comes to like, oh, well, those people are so boring because blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But again, they're moving past that. I feel like they're moving past that because we've got death, and I feel like the universe is pushing them to move past that. Possibly because this is a wound that they carry still, you know, this wound of not being accepted as they are. It's kind of like a rejection wound. So I feel like it's still kind of present in their life. And they've left connections just because they didn't feel accepted by the person unconditionally. Even though they're very joyful and cheerful and all of this stuff, I think that they're currently, because this is again what they're currently experiencing, right? We have a lot of emphasis on transformation here. So I do feel like they are going through this process of healing. Okay. And I think it's something that's hard. It is hard because it feels like they're actually going about, like, it feels like a very powerful stage of healing. I think before, this seems like the first time that they're specifically addressing this wound. I don't know if you guys know, but sometimes when you heal something, you're doing it more than once. You know, you touch on it, then you live a little bit, then you touch on it again, you live on the, like, it feels like this is the first time they're actually coming across this, like they're actually dealing with it. I think they had some kind of an experience, or maybe they talked to a therapist or something, and somebody gave them this, or they just came, you know, the universe provided this information, but I feel like it's more so through communication with someone. They had an aha moment and they realized, like, oh, I'm still living from this perception of how my parents or like my society or environment didn't accept me for exactly who I am. So even though they are happy-go-lucky and carefree and all of this stuff, and remember I said they're not doing the fantasy stuff for escapism, though maybe initially it was escapism, now they just love it. It's fun. It's kind of their life. It's their world. Because of their career, I feel like it's part, you know what I mean? So even if they're not doing special effects, then I feel like they're sculpting like some kind of fantasy creatures and selling them on Etsy or something. You know, like it really seems like they're somehow getting money off of this. Sorry guys, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Yeah, even here you see it's like, I think maybe they were talking to somebody from the past, or like they were talking with a parent that they felt this, you know, wound came from, and maybe they realized like, oh, this person is just never going to accept this, you know? I don't know, it's like they had some kind of a realization, like it just dawned on them, like, I can't believe I've been carrying this for all this time. So they're currently working on letting it go. Okay, so again, since it's a general reading, it could be that some of them are just having this realization, and some of them have already just started on trying to learn how to let this go. But yeah, oh, I just noticed this Judgment card, but you see, even the Judgment is all about like aware, like, look, the horn is being blown, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, hello, look at this. You've got death and you've got judgment. So yeah. The fact that their current emotional state is serenity and inward spiritual. Yeah, you see, even with inward spiritual journey, there's the trap. They didn't realize they were trapped and they transformed, right? Because these spider webs turned into leaves where their cocoon started. Because a spider does cocoon their prey, okay? And this is them coming out of that cocoon. So I feel like they kind of also realize like how far they've come and that they don't need other people's approval, because the fact that they were being so triggered and would say, I don't need their approval, you know, but they would say it aggressively. It's all in the tone of voice, okay? If you think that you're over something, but then when you talk about it, you sound a little defensive, there's a good chance that you are most likely not over it, okay? So like if you start saying, oh, this parent disapproved of me and this and this and this, but I don't need their approval, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're saying it a little aggressively, it's because on some level, a part of you still wants that approval, okay? And you're being self-defensive and all this stuff. But if you say it calmly, you're like, you know what? I realize that I don't need their approval anymore, and it's okay. And you say it like that, then you've actually started really moving on from it. So I feel like, your person is kind of at that point where they're not saying it like before. They were saying it aggressively, you know, like they're like, I don't need their approval. I look at how successful I've become, or look how I've done well for myself. Because your person is extremely creative, okay? We've got Neptune here, which again touches on that fantasy. Initially in childhood, sure, it was escapism, but they really fell in love with all of these worlds and world building, okay? That's why I feel like they actually may enjoy, like, they're doing something, whether it's special effects or stuff for movies or TV shows, or writing books, or like they're creating sculptures or building like video games, something where they're creating worlds, okay? But yeah, so they're very creative, very imaginative, and I feel like they've finally gotten past that point where it's no longer like, it's just a complete realization. That's why there's like the serenity here. It's release, you know? They can finally say, I'm putting an end to this. It's like they're really letting it rest in peace, okay? There's no more, like, this ego stuff is not coming through so much anymore. They're just letting it go. Because here on the bottom of the deck, you've got the light form of Sagittarius, okay? The light form of Sagittarius, and then the light form of Scorpio right underneath it, okay? So these are both, like, this is transformation, and the Sagittarius is talking about moving forward. It's expansion, okay? So, and then we've got imagine. Oh, I just realized this says imagine. Look at that. Yeah, your person is so creative. They're so imaginative. And you've got renew, you have death, you have renew, you have transform. They're really going through a huge transformation here. And then you have guide, okay? So with the guide and the number 3, I really do feel like they could have had a therapist or a good friend, or there was some kind of a convention that they went to, like there was something that helped them come to this realization. It was, like I said, either communication with somebody, and then it just kind of dawned on them like, hey, why am I letting you affect me so much, you know? But yeah, that's kind of what's coming through. So that's pretty incredible stuff. Your person is going through a great transformation. And I think this is also what's going to be helping to open them up to encountering you guys, because now they're not going to be living out of a place of that ego where they're only looking for people who are like them. Because if the person is not like them, they're like, I've been rejected by people who are not like me, so I reject them. They're not rejecting me, I reject them. You know, that was kind of the thoughts of the past. They're not like that anymore. They've gone past that. But I think they had like a hypercritical mother or father or something, and I think that's where it came from. Okay, well, Group 2, I was going to call you guys Group 3. Group 2, that was your reading. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up, and if you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date when I post new content. Also, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section down below. And I'm being more active on Instagram if you guys would like to follow me there, and we can communicate through there as well. Excuse me. Also, if you guys are interested in a custom crystal bracelet or a personal private reading or personal affirmation song, you can reach out to me either through the contacts page on my website or through my email, which are all listed down below. All right, you guys, that was it for you guys today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm sending you guys so much light, so much love, and group 2, I hope you have a great, blessed day. All right, you guys, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Hey group 3, welcome to your reading. This is your reading if you chose Glow Up. I'll read it for you again. It says, whoa, what'd they feed you at band camp, son? Talk about a glow up. I'm gonna set your card to the side, ring your singing bell. Y'all, this whole reading, okay, you are the third group of 4, which I have said, ring your singing bowl. That is so weird. I don't know why I said that too. I'm like, oh, let me ring your singing bowl. So interesting. Okay, one thing I want to mention about your person that came through. I feel like your person is experiencing a lot of jealousy currently because I think they really are going through a glow up. I really do feel that. I feel as though they have actually, not even going through, they went through it. Like they've just transformed, okay? You guys, your person has transformed and people are kind of jealous, okay? Also, your person had lots of strong Taurus energy coming through because, all right, first of all, the Empress is on the bottom of the deck here. Ooh, and we have the 2 of Cups underneath that. But anyway, the Empress is on the bottom of the deck. That is Taurus energy, but also can be Libra too, because really it's Venus, but yeah, it's Taurus energy. Then we have this deck. I have 2 versions of each card, okay? It'll be dark like this. Oh, these are opposites. Interesting. But yes, either light card or a dark card, okay? They're each the same. So there's a light Scorpio too. When I first split the deck, when I started shuffling, it opened to Taurus, light Taurus. Then as I shuffled, I split it again and it opened to dark Taurus. And as I shuffled, the other cards fell out and I put it down and I was like, lo and behold, the bottom of the deck is light Taurus again. I was like, that's a lot of Taurus, okay? Then also we have Mars that came through a couple of times for you guys. It came through when I was shuffling, but it didn't fall out, but it ended up at the bottom of the deck, revealing itself as an energy here. We've also got the Devil on the bottom and the Queen of Wands with supporter of ambition and business success. And underneath that is the 2 of Cups again with soulmates and connection place. Y'all. Okay. And then we have the 9 of Cups. And I saw the 9 of Cups come through in one of the other things. So I think it's interesting it came through again, because when the 9 of Cups came through in that other time, it felt like a half of 9 of Cups, because I think they're not getting support because they're surrounded by jealous people. Okay, so now this is the 9 of Cups anyway, because your person is goals, okay? Yeah, bottom of this deck, empowered self-embodiment. Exactly, your person literally is goals. And then knowledge, yeah. Since I showed you the bottom of every deck, I figured I'd show you the bottom of that one too. And also this one is revealing itself too, so spirit. Yeah, your person has gone through a lot to get to where they are. They've gone through so much, you guys, so much transformation, so much self-work, so much like constantly evaluating themselves and seeing where else they can grow, where else they can process, where else they keep revisiting the same pains from the past, or where else they keep getting the same triggers. Like they really did the work, but people are only seeing the result. And so it's kind of like, I spoke about this in other readings because this is something that even I have heard, right? I heard a band actually say this, a group say this once. They're like, you know, people say it's overnight success. They didn't see the 10 years that it took to get there, to get to an overnight success. Okay, so it's like people are saying, oh yeah, they're an overnight success, but it's like, yeah, because they worked for 5 years and then one day it was just their time. Okay, so it's not really overnight, but I feel like people are not seeing that. They're not seeing the effort. They're not seeing the hardship and hard work. So yeah. Okay, without further ado, let's get into your cards. We've got the 5 of Pentacles. I'm sorry, you guys, my throat is a little dry today. So if you hear me clearing it a lot and the window's open and the pollen is doing the thing too. So you got Wheel of Fortune. I may need to drink more water than normal. There's this 9 of Cups that I saw peep through, and I was like, something about it felt like half. Oh, I know why it felt like that. It felt like, the reason I looked at it is actually because when I was pulling it out, I kept thinking this was 2 cards, but it was 1. I was like, why does this feel like 2 cards stuck together? And then I flipped it over when I realized it was on, and I saw that it was the 9 of Cups. And I was like, interesting. So it's like, on some level where there's like waiting for a shoe to, I don't know. I think it's interesting that I perceived it as 2 cups. It felt like half a victory. Like it's a full victory, but it can only be enjoyed in half, because it's like, surely this is, you know, I feel like even your person is surprised at how many blessings they're getting. And we've got the Magician, the 10 of Wands, the King of Cups, the Tower, Perseverance Gardens with the 7 of Wands. Yeah, 7 of Wands. That card is all about defense. Then we have Justice. 5 of Wands, no surprise. And oh my goodness, lo and behold, Apollo. Okay, look at this. That's golden. That's a specialty card. Aries, light attribute. And we have Vulnerability. This is the card that represents their emotional state, their current emotional state. We have Vulpecula with Deception. Dorado with Enlighten. And then we have Chiron and Cancer. Okay, guys, give me a moment. I need a sip of water, as I mentioned. And let me straighten out these cards. They kind of look like a jumble. You guys look like a jumble. What's going on? Okay. I don't know why I keep singing that throughout this video today. There we go. I'm trying to straighten it out for you guys. Make it neat. Boop. Sort of poop. Okay. Well, you know what? It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yet I'm still trying to perfect it. Look at how humans can be. Okay, let me take my sip of water now. Whee! Okay, yeah. I think it's also interesting because with this light attribute Aries, I kind of feel like it's a new beginning, right? They are persevering. They're not letting other people's opinions, thoughts, and all this other stuff hold them back. They keep moving forward. It's just kind of like a shame that the people in their life, not all of them, but kind of a lot of them, are not as supportive because of jealousy, because of their own insecurities that they're projecting on, okay? And with this, I heard like I'm being pulled in a new direction and I think I like it. That's a song from somewhere. I think it's a musical, but I don't remember. But yeah, so it's kind of like they're being pulled, like they're just, I don't know, they just kind of surrendered to divine guidance. They've done so much work, you guys. Like this 10 of Wands is talking about this massive transformation was because of so much effort. Your person is so emotionally mature. This 5 of Pentacles for me is really saying, again, because this is about where they're currently at. They're really, it's like, I feel like they passed a test, right? They kind of got past the biggest hurdle. And so like the universe is celebrating them and they're getting all of these blessings coming into their lives. And, I think that's another reason why it's like kind of half a blessing too, is like why they thought it was half a blessing. They're just like, surely that's not, like that's it, you know? And then the universe is like, oh, you thought that, but also here's this thing and this thing. And they're like, whoa, thank you so much. And they're like, but this is probably it now. I'm so grateful for these gifts. And the universe was like, you had thought, ha 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 ha. Here's another 10 gifts. So it kind of feels like they're almost like waiting for when the abundance is gonna stop overflowing like this. but the universe just keeps rewarding them. That's very beautiful, you guys. This person is in a really good place. With this vulnerability to their emotional state, I just kind of feel like they're in a place of surrender. They are emotionally vulnerable too. Not because they're not necessarily fragile, okay? As a person, they're very strong. But I feel like because of this huge shift, this huge transformation, whatever this huge thing is that they left behind, that they have moved past, it's kind of left them feeling a little like emotionally raw or tender, right? Because they had shed such a close layer of wall that they had around themselves. And again, with justice, it's like the universe is rewarding them. It is rewarding them because of their perseverance, their hard work. And stuff is just coming out of the woodworks, you know? This isn't even things that they're predicting. It's kind of like things that maybe they were waiting for years, just kind of happening out of the blue. You know, they could have been wanting something for 2 to 3 years, and then it's just kind of like, oh, here you go, you've unlocked it, you know? I feel like the energy around them is just glowing. Like, people literally think that they're glowing. I think people are drawn to this person like a magnet, and especially because they're vulnerable right now, their soul is shining through because they've let go of that wall, right? They're kind of like, I know God will protect me. I don't have to have this self-defense wall like this, you know, that keeps people out. So yeah, they're kind of like just, I feel like everyone is finding your person attractive, okay? Like, people can't help but ogle at them. Even if they didn't like, even if your person is not their style, it's just the energy is so strong that they cannot help it. And again, it seems like there are some people in their life that could be experiencing jealousy, even if they don't think they are. It's almost as though like they feel, these people can feel as though they're above jealousy, but this person, and they compared this person and themselves to the same level. You know, it's like, oh, they kept saying that this person and them are the same, and it was nice to have a companion. But your person, instead of staying stuck like the person who was this friend kept being stuck for however long they've been stuck, your person kept growing. They didn't allow themselves to stay in that area or stay stuck in that kind of center too much. And so this friend has started, even if they're a good friend or like they're nice, experiencing jealousy. So it's not really completely healthy, you know? I'm not saying that all of their friends are like that. They genuinely have friends that are good for them too and supportive. I just think that they're kind of dealing with this, and I feel as though yeah, any kind of talk that's going on about them too, it's like it doesn't affect them anymore. You know, they're just like, I don't care. You can talk whatever you want. I'm still going about my thing. You see how much taller this person is than like the father figure? This is just talking about how much they've expanded, how much they've grown. They've really grown, okay? They've really moved past their larger, and it's not in weight or size. It's just like in energy and presence, exactly as they are, okay? They're a master manifester. I know this is supposed to be where they're currently at, but this is kind of where they're currently at. The fact that you have deception and enlighten. Oh, and what is so interesting, if you turn enlighten upside down, this is so clever. It is deception. I mean, there's a few hues more, you know, or whatever, but it's the same colors. Wow, that is so incredible. Wow, 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 wow. I wanted to say wow, wow, wee, wow. I don't know where that's from, but yeah, deception and enlighten, and the fact that they are similar. You guys, this is so powerful. I feel like this is a huge thing for your person too. Also, your person, there is a lot of, like they've got a strong protection around them, but I feel like they're practicing on energetic protection as well, because they've got to take care of themselves. Boundaries, they're really good at boundaries. They're good at protecting themselves. They may have not been that way before, but I feel like they've always been guided and protected. And the universe has put in boundaries for them where they could not, but like they're in a place where they've got really strong boundaries. They're very protective, all of this stuff, okay, of themselves. And that's not to say that they've built this wall again. It's just like, they don't need the wall to be taking care of themselves, you know? So they've removed the trauma wall, but they're still protective of themselves, as if they're a parent protecting their child, you know? But they're doing that with themselves, okay? Which is a good thing. That is a very good thing. But I want to talk on this deception and enlighten, right? Because even before we had knowledge and spirit. So I think this, and what's underneath that? Ascend. Yes. Oh my gosh. Whoa, you guys, I just got chills everywhere. Chills everywhere. Okay. I feel like your person broke through some kind of veil recently. Like they kind of see things at face value now. I think before, like they see past the illusion. Like that is the shift. They see past the illusion. Okay, I feel like I should give you guys an example. Okay, so kind of like, how can I give you an example? Okay. So basically say they have a ring that they wear every single day. And this ring, because they wear it every single day, not only means a lot to them, but is kind of holding their energy. And this ring is like part of their identity because it's on them every single day. Okay? And then they one day lost the ring. And your person gets they get so upset. They're like, oh my goodness, this ring, like it's again, they associated part of their identity with it. They're like, why did it happen? What is the spiritual significance of it? Why is this going on? And like after they calm themselves down, because they realize, they're not going to get it until they calm themselves down. Your person has also got like God guidance. Okay. I feel like they're clear. I was going to say, what is the word? I want to say clairsentient, but that's not it. Clairsentience is physical, which I guess they also have too. But it's claircognizant. Your person is claircognizant and clairaudient. And so they're like, why? And they're waiting for an answer, waiting for a response. But they realize because of all the spiritual growth, oh, okay, I'm not going to get an answer in this panic state. So they calm down. They do the things to calm themselves down. They wait a little bit and then they ask again why. And they were told, oh, this is just part of the process. Like they realized, I think, you know what? This ring is not my identity. This ring was a part of my being, but I'm sure there was a reason why it went missing. It could have been like something to let go of the past. And instead of something more serious being lost, it was just a ring. Okay? Like your person kind of saw that. So after their initial state of panic, they kind of realized like, okay, it's just a ring. Material things do not define a person. And I'm sure there is a good reason as to why it happened. So they went on the whole day, instead of like worrying about their ring, thinking maybe I'll look for it later, kind of just getting over it, forgetting about it, moving on, whatever. And then they come home and they find the ring. Because the whole point was the ring was a test. And that's the kind of test that I'm talking about. It's kind of like, I don't remember why I brought this up. Oh, the deception and enlightenment, right. Thank you guys. Okay, yes, because it's like, this is the same, right? They could have been like, oh, my ring is missing. How can this happen? I can't believe it. But they chose this higher, I'm getting chills again every time I talk about this. They chose this higher perspective. They chose, instead of kind of falling into this way of seeing it, being like, you know what? I can be in this material 3D perspective, but the truth is I've gotten enough proof that I'm always divinely taken care of and protected, and everything happens for a reason. So this is probably what's going on here. And though I love that ring, it's gone, and that's okay, right? And then the universe was like, good job. Okay, so that's kind of what this deception and enlightenment is. It's like they have their perception, they've seen past this kind of illusion of the material world, which has created this growth for them, okay, this expansion. Oof. Yeah, because you've got Chiron here, which is all about healing, right? It's like the wounded healer. It's healing the thing that that it's called the wounded healer because it's the thing that, say for example, you have a fear of being on stage, okay? But you just so happen to encounter a lot of people who have stage fright. and you always give them the best advice in regards to how to handle it, and that it's okay, and that they'll move past it, and all. You see a fly just landed on Perseverance Gardens. I'm going to talk about that too. And all this stuff, like, you know, you give them the best advice. It's like you're giving the advice that you need to hear yourself, right? Because you've got to overcome this. In this lifetime, you were meant to be on a stage with the Chiron trigger, I don't know, the stage fright, okay? So I don't know what placement Chiron would have to be in for that to be a thing, but you know what I mean. So, and so because you kind of realize like, oh, it's time for me to take my own advice. This is the greatest healing that I can do in my life, is where Chiron is, right? It's part of the life lesson. So then you kind of finally take your own advice after giving that advice for 5 to 10 years to other people, and you move past this massive healing that you've got to do for yourself. So that's what happened with them, okay? The fact that there's a fly flying around here during this reading, the fact that it landed on Perseverance Gardens, which is all about, it's the Seven of Wands, it's all about defending yourself, protection, okay? I don't think that's a coincidence, because some people sometimes affiliate flies with negativity and like negative energies kind of pestering or being around, right? So I feel like, again, there are people that are kind of jealous of your person because your person is shining. They're in the limelight. But also you don't have to worry about your person because they're okay. Okay? There's nothing to worry about. They're provided for, they're divinely protected, they're taken care of, and they do their own kind of protection thing, whatever it may be. You have a very enlightened spiritual person here, you guys. Okay, but yeah, and they've gone through a lot to kind of learn how to nurture themselves and all this stuff. But yeah, okay, group 3, that was your reading. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up. Also, if you subscribe to the channel, if you would like to be up to date on more content that I post, as I have lots of stuff that I have planned. Oh, and I just saw angel number 222. Okay, so I think that pertains to your reading as well. It's talking about your person really being in alignment, okay? And partnership, like they're not going through the world alone with abandonment wounds anymore, or kind of like handling everything on their own, okay? Like they're letting people help. They realize they're not abandoned, they're not alone, because the universe is with them, God is with them, you know? You've got a very spiritual person here, you guys. But anyway, yes. Also, I'd appreciate if you guys left a comment in the comment section below, because I'd love to hear from you guys, okay? And also, I do have an Instagram that I'm being more active on. So if you guys wanted to give me a follow, the handle is just NutAeum. But also my Instagram is in the description box below as well. And if you guys are interested in a personal private reading, a custom crystal bracelet, or a personal affirmation song, you can also reach out to me through the contacts page on my website or through my email, all in the description box below. But yes, that will be it for today, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm sending you lots of love, lots of light, and lots of blessings. Okay, group 3, you've got a great person coming into your life, and they're coming in kind of soon for some of you guys, all right? So I hope you have a good one, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Hey, group 4, welcome to your reading. This is your reading if you chose the word low-key. Let me read your card to you again. It says, "Thanks, hun. I've been low-key hoping for a midder saw." All right, you guys, I'm gonna shuffle. Well, I'm gonna ring the singing bowl. There we go. And I've finished shuffling your cards, so let us unveil what we shall see. Something that I do want to note, which I'm gonna see how this ties into the reading because it was interesting to me. Sometimes while I'm shuffling, songs will come up in my head, and that tends to be part of the message. For you guys, it was from Phantom of the Opera, and it was All I Ask of You, both the actual song and the reprise. So yeah, okay, we've got the 6 of Cups, the King of Wands, the 8 of Cups, the Hanged Man, Interesting. The moon. Wow, these are all major arcana. The temperance. You've got temperance here too. Interesting. All the cards from this deck are major arcana. And you've got Perseverance Gardens. That's funny. That came out in the last group too. 7 of Wands. And the Empress. We've also got the King of Swords. Another interesting thing. 2 kings. The 4 of Swords. Yeah, this is... I haven't seen the cards. Usually when I shuffle, I don't look at the cards. But if a card flips open, or if it like sometimes falls open, or if I like pick it up and accidentally look at it, if I'm like really forced, like just pull it out or something, very rarely am I just so curious because of the resistance I got from a card that I will peek. But this is one of those cards that it flipped open when I was shuffling. And I was like, interesting, the 8 of Cups. I feel like they're walking away from something that no longer serves, kind of letting go of things. And then you got the 4 of Swords, which actually works perfectly with that. And Temperance. I didn't even think of that. Oh, and yeah, all of these cards actually kind of go. Oh, and then we have Serenity. Beautiful. Speaking of letting go. Ooh, and then we have Dark Scorpio. And this is actually funny. So this deck actually has... It's a combination of 2 decks, really. It's from the Yin Yang, or sorry, I probably said that wrong. Yin Yang or whatever. Yin Yang, however it's pronounced. Tarot, the creator, also made these astrology cards. And I got one of each. One for, because I have a box set, whatever, with both sides, right? So I'm interpreting the dark ones as darker versions, and then the light ones as lighter versions. So it's funny because the Dark Scorpio was the one I flipped the deck. Like I split the deck when I started shuffling, and I saw Dark Scorpio, and it was the first card that came out after I like shuffled really, really well. So this deck is interesting, at least for this time around. I've noticed it's kind of been doing that for all of the groups. Like it would reveal the same card. Like it's like, oh, I showed you from the beginning. Like this is a no nonsense. I appreciate. Thank you, deck. You know, this deck is kind of like a look. I told you what it was the moment you picked me up. So here it is. And then we've got Dark Libra, and something that I've noticed that I've never noticed in this deck before in this deck, but this Serenity. It's this beautiful like celestial sky, pale blue and like gold and yellow and stuff. But over here, you actually have a little, I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera, but you've got a little bit of pinky purple, which I've never noticed that before. And this card literally came up like in one of the groups as well. Not the last group, but one of the groups. Then we have Monoceros with Purity, Chameleon with Adapt. We have this is the, ooh. Oh my, I'm trying to recall. I always get this part confused. Which side is the waxing and which side is the waning? Okay, this one is a balsamic moon, which means this side, this is the waning. This is the first quarter. This is the first quarter moon. Yeah. Okay, and then we have the first house and the waxing crescent. Okay. Interesting, because there's a lot of beginner things here. Okay, give me one sec. I feel like your person, guys, is currently going through very, very deep introspective stuff, and they're walking away from things that no longer serve them anymore. Okay, your person is really doing some healing too, because we've got Temperance, we have the 4 of Swords, and we have the moon here that talks about the subconscious mind. And I just want to say at the bottom of the deck, we have the Judgment card, which, by the way, on some shape or form, the Judgment card has come up for almost every group here. So I guess Divine is really not interfering, but kind of like coming through in a lot of people's lives right now, you know, the presence of divinity. So I think that's very interesting in divine guidance. It's kind of like, it's time for a shift. Oh, you know what? Isn't there like some planetary thing that happened? What is it? Pluto? Pluto went into a sign, or Uranus went into Aquarius. I don't know, something with Aquarius, which is all about change. So I feel like that maybe that has something to do with it too. But anyway, yes, let's get back into your reading. Yeah, I kind of feel like your person is definitely going through some healing. They are, you know what, they're getting ready to cut people out of their lives. Some of them have already started stepping away from certain people. And then some of them are kind of like getting ready to do so, because we do have the 7 of Wands here, right? Which is like protecting themselves from lower energies and lower vibrations and people that kind of are starting to no longer serve them anymore. And your person is coming through with the Empress. This is an empowered card, right? It's an empowered energy. And you guys, this is genderless. These readings are genderless, so everyone has feminine and masculine energy. So I feel like your person is kind of coming through an empowered feminine energy in the moment, which is very good for them. Okay, it's very good for them, because this is something that they had a lot of time taking in regards to getting to healing this part of themselves, their inner feminine nature. Okay, because I think they didn't know how to take a break before. They've been wired up so much by their upbringing, their community, their environment, even their culture. It kind of feels like a cultural thing. So for them, they were working on healing that, so that they're not so wired up, so that they're not overly living from their, because really when one energy is lessened, right? So if you have the feminine energy is less, then you're going to overcompensate with masculine energy and vice versa, right? Because it's like, if you have a circle, right? You can't just fill, like, it's always 100% full. The circle is always 100% full. So you can't have like 30% feminine energy and 40% masculine energy, because it only has 2 substances, masculine and feminine. So where one is lacking, the other is going to overcompensate. So I feel like your person had an imbalanced, unhealthy like connection with their feminine nature, or lack thereof, like connection when it comes, like there was a lack of connection. But they've gone through and they've done healing, and or they've had self-assessment. You know, your person is kind of self-observant, so I feel like they've gotten to a much better place in regards to that. So it's actually very good for them. That's not saying that they're overly feminine or anything like that. It just means that they've gotten good at knowing that it's okay for them to nurture themselves. It's okay for them to take a break. And it's okay for them to have a calm mind. And to be kind to themselves, okay? I also feel like your person is currently in a state, which also this is feminine energy too, right? It's also giving. Masculine energy is more providing. It's like taking care of. Feminine energy also takes care of and provides through nurturing. So it's kind of giving, you know? Well, actually feminine should be reception and masculine is giving. But, you know, it's like intermingled, just like the root chakra and sacral chakra kind of blend with some of the things that they haven't, you know, like they have distinct meanings and purposes, but it's associations as well with each other. So it's kind of like same thing. So I do feel like this connection with their feminine energy is because temperance, temperance is also about balance, you guys, right? Look, they're like, I'm not gonna have this cup 30% full and this cup 70% full. I'm gonna have a 50-50 with my cups. So that's what they're going through. That's what they're doing and what they have been going through and doing. And I feel like your person is very, they're very kind. They're very generous. And yes, the serenity is coming through very strongly. Like they're just, it's like they've got this peace within themselves because they finally had this realization and they're getting ready to walk away from the people that were disturbing their peace. The people that were riling them up that no longer serve, you know. The fact that toxic Scorpio, like not toxic, but dark Scorpio and dark Libra came up, I think is interesting too. Yeah, with the dark Libra, I think this is actually a good thing for them, because this is talking about them no longer overgiving, okay, or like not giving the value to themselves. Before, there was so much emphasis on other people, okay, and pushing past themselves, like, oh, I'm no longer going to, like, you know, like they were not a priority for themselves. So at the moment, they're currently the priority for themselves, which is actually a really good thing, you guys, because it's important to put yourself first at times, okay? This is something I recently said to somebody, and look, I get maybe it may not be worded in the best way, maybe it could be misinterpreted. I said it again, misinterpreted. I kept saying misinterpreted, but yeah, there's a chance that it could be misinterpreted. But what I said to somebody recently was just like a very caring and nurturing person that has gone their whole life kind of feeling like a burden or not enough or something like that, oftentimes is going to be overgiving, okay? And not having enough love for themselves, like, at all, okay? So in those moments, in those instances, those kinds of people should actually love themselves too much, okay? Because loving yourself too much, like when it comes to those people in particular, their version of loving themselves too much is loving themselves just enough, okay? Because I feel like since they're working through undervaluing themselves, I have a hair on my finger. Since they're working through undervaluing themselves, okay, their version of like self-love is still, it's like, say for example, you need to meet the tank at 50%. Their version of self-love is like 20 or 30%, okay? And they're like too much, oh, that's the selfish kind of love is 50%. So for them, it's like you got to give yourself too much love. You've got to be a little selfish with the self-love. Now, that's only for the type of people that I have described, okay? Because then for people who are naturally more like narcissistic or who make everything about themselves, okay, that's not the advice for them, all right? This is just for the people who've like grown up feeling like a burden and who completely have no self, like who don't value themselves enough and stuff like that, okay? So yeah, I kind of feel like that's what your person is going through right now. That's why with this Libra, it's the dark aspect of Libra, where it's kind of like they're balancing, like honestly, it's not coming through as other people are the priority, which it was before. Now it's kind of coming through as they are the priority. So they're putting too much emphasis on kind of taking care of themselves, which for them is a good thing, okay? And then you've got dark Scorpio, and dark Scorpio is also coming through as like the sexual aspect of Scorpio. So I kind of feel as though, and like trust and discernment and judgment. So I do feel like your person is getting ready again to cut out people from their lives, but it also seems like they're having a kind of sexual awakening too, okay? I feel like maybe they had a negative connotation towards this, or maybe they associated it with just material, physical, kind of survival-y instinct, animalistic. Like there wasn't the best connotation in regards to sex, but now I feel like they're kind of seeing it from a different perspective. So it does feel like a sexual awakening a little bit. Like they're more, like for example, if somebody grew up in a very orthodox, like religious family, and they could have been told like sex is taboo, it's like even if your person is kind of like, oh, this is bogus, they kind of do it anyway. You know, like they do the sex and whatever. They do the sex. But in some level in their subconscious mind, there's this taboo associated with sex, okay? So there is like, it's in the subconscious, right? Which we're talking about, the subconscious healing, okay? Diving into their subconscious. So I feel like now they're working on getting rid of that taboo and being genuinely okay with it. Not feeling like this part is reserved for being dirty. It's like, it's not dirty, okay? There's other beautiful things about it. It's not just about giving into a pleasure, which maybe this religion kind of made it seem like it, or like their family made it seem like, oh, you're just giving into temptation. This is the dark stuff. And it's like, it doesn't have to be dark. You can create life with this, you know. You can create miracles in your life through it as well. Like, it's kind of stuff like that. Like, they're shifting their perception, okay? So it's not a bad thing either. I also feel, yeah, like your person is pure, like this serenity. You guys, your person is very, very pure and kind. And it's like, they've been cleared, and it's been time for them to get a chance to take care of themselves. And I feel like that's what they're currently going through. Okay, they've got the beginning stages, right, with the first house, the beginning stages with the crescent, the waxing crescent, and then the first quarter. So it's kind of like they're already, you see the steps here. Okay, your person also, this would probably be the last note too, I think. But I feel like your person is also, yeah, even with this King of Swords and King of Wands, it kind of feels like they're still working really hard to, oh, sorry guys, they're working really hard to like preserve themselves and take care of themselves. Like, again, it's kind of falling into this dark Scorpio energy too, where they're being over assessing of people, kind of really gauging, like, are you going to be somebody that holds me back energetically, or are you going to be somebody that's good for me? You know, so I feel like they're being a little critical, but it's not, again, it's not in a bad way. It's kind of like they're establishing these boundaries. They're establishing what's good for them. Okay, so yeah, that's currently what your person is going. And there is a sense of inner peace here too. Okay, it's not like they're being aggressive or anything. It's kind of like surrender. It feels like surrender. All right, you guys. All right, group 4, that was your reading. I hope you guys enjoyed. Okay, if you did, I would appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up, and if you subscribe to the channel too, so you could be notified anytime I post a new video. Also, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below, as well as on Instagram. I'm being more active on Instagram, so I'd like to see you guys there too. That would be nice if you would like. Also, if you guys are interested in a personal private reading or a custom crystal bracelet or a custom affirmation song, you can reach out to me either through my email or the contacts page on my website, which are all listed in the description box below. How is my voice acting, you guys? You got like 4 different accents in one. But yeah, that was your reading, group 4. I really hope you guys enjoyed. And I'd love to hear from you guys, okay? And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm sending you guys lots of love, lots of light, and I hope you have a great one, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye, group 4.